Bonjour on all angles. To eNCA. The Blitzboks are set to touch down after their successful exploits at the 2022 Birmingham Commonwealth Games. Neil Powell's men produced a near-perfect performance against Fiji in the final of this year's Games to be crowned winners. In the meanwhile, the Springbok Women's Sevens setup are aware of their struggles but had an impressive showing as they finished 7th. We're joined by eNCA's Justin Ford all the way out in Cape Town. Good afternoon, Mr. Ford. Always great to be talking to you. Another great showing from the Blitzboks in Birmingham. Their consistency at the Commonwealth Games is unparalleled. What do you make of their gold medal performance, Justin?
Good afternoon, Arthur. As always, absolute pleasure chatting to you. I think we have to take it back to the fact that this was Neil Powell's 3rd Commonwealth Games and his 2nd gold medal, the first one being in 2014. We saw the likes of Brian O'Banner, Cornel Hendricks, Warren Whiteley, Skulk Brits, Chris Dry, Kyle Brown, all part of that team. And for him to now come back in 2022 and claim gold again in a year where he will be departing from the Sevens system surely is quite remarkable. We have to remember that it is a busy season for them. They have the World Sevens Series still to be completed, as well as the World Cup, on home soil in Cape Town. So their victory in Birmingham, absolutely massive. The way they went about their business, not being defeated, surprising Fiji, I must say, surprising many in that final where they came out victors 31-7. So an all-round, as you mentioned, near-perfect performance by Neil Powell and his players.
All right, Justin, I mean, having said that, the victory was a sign of maturity, surely, from the group who did not have their captain, Siviwe Soyizwapi, and the key player, Ronald Brown, who was sidelined by injury. Do you agree?
Absolutely, and I think if we just have had a look at the medal ceremony with New Zealand, who finished in the bronze position, we have to look at stature in terms of size of those players. And I think this is where the Springbok Sevens team really come out tops. They are not the biggest players on the circuit at the moment, and potentially never really were. But the fact that they, without their captain, without a playmaker like Ronald Brown, were able to put together a performance like that, running 5 tries against a dominant physical Fiji team, keeping the ball away from them, is something that is super special. JC Pretorius, an absolute superstar. The likes of Zane Davids, one of the only 2 players amongst the squad that appeared at the 2nd Commonwealth Games, the other one being Siviwe Soyizwapi. Those guys just really showing their worth and knowing that, believing in their system, and I think that's what made this victory even more special.
I mean, Justin, the Games also served surely as a platform to fine-tune their skills ahead of Rugby World Cup Sevens in Cape Town next month. A good morale booster, you think, for the charges of Neil Powell ahead of the showdown next month?
Absolutely. First and foremost, they do have the final leg of the World Sevens Series to compete out in the Americas, and that will be at the end of August before the Rugby World Cup, Sevens World Cup hits South Africa's shores in Cape Town. And I think this really just gives them a perfect foundation to know that what they have worked on at training is working for them. Surely they will say they are a humble bunch, that there is many more things that they need to look at ahead of that World Cup, and the pressure's on them as the home team to win that World Cup. And as I mentioned, the fact that Neil Powell is bowing out from the 7th setup and moving on to the Sharks out in Durban is just an extra motivation for this team to hopefully carry that momentum and really lift that trophy at the end of that 7th World Cup.
All right, our Springbok Sevens women's team are also in on the action. What do you think these games meant to them? They finished 7th.
Yeah, I think for them it was really more about being exposed to top-class opposition. It's something that Coach Paul Dalport, the Springbok Women's Sevens coach, has been crying out for. They are dominant in Africa, however, playing these international teams, they come up a bit short. A lot of the matches, they were not even able to score any points. So game time against top opposition. The eventual winners, Australians, who they lost to in their opening match. And I think this is going to be a big talking point for this team, knowing that they would need to play more regularly on the sort of women's series and just get stronger. The other thing for them, unfortunately, would have to be the fact that a lot of their players also play for the Springbok women's team, the 15 side, and they were in Japan. Going down to Japan and beating Japan as well. So there's that balance that needs to be struck in terms of the amount of players that they need to get. But I think all in all, not finishing in last place would have been something that they would be very proud of. And hopefully this is something that Paul Delport and his ladies could work on.
Fantastic, Justin. Always great to be talking to you all the way out in Cape Town, awaiting the arrival of the Commonwealth gold medalist, who obviously did South Africa proud in Birmingham. All right, that's all the sports news I have for you at the moment. Back to you.